It's so hard to talk about it without giving anything away.
Okay, so we're rolling on the floor. So whenever you're ready, Chloe.
Take two, Will.
Here we go, take two. I never get it right on take one anyway.
Can we just take a moment to look at that poster behind you? That is pretty badass. I mean, look at that blue steel you're giving the camera.
There's a lot of pressure when you stood next to someone as cool as Lucy Boynton, but yeah, it was fun. It was fun to do.
This role is absolutely fantastic, but I gotta tell you, also very excited for Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I know you can't say anything, but like, how epic is it going to be?
Oh, I'm still kind of getting over the shock of being in it. But you know, if it's anything like James's two other films, I think people are not going to be disappointed. I'm super excited for folks to see it, and you know, we're close to finishing shooting, and it's been a blast so far. I'm sorry that I can't really tell you anything, but I'm pretty confident people are going to love this film.
You know, anytime anyone takes on a role, there's of course some prep work that comes into play. I'm sure you had a lot of prep to do with this one as well with Hugh, but you've mentioned that your role in Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was extremely hard. Can you just give us a little insight on what made it so challenging, just really quickly?
It's, you know what, it's so hard to talk about it without giving anything away. And also because I haven't sort of seen the sort of things that I was preparing for, I don't even know if I'm able to give you that. But, you know, however difficult it was, it's all been worth it in the sense that, you know, I'm so lucky to play the role and to be a part of that amazing cast. And I've had, you know, so much support from Marvel and everyone, you know, involved in the production. So I've got nothing to complain about.
You know, you've done such a variety of roles and characters so far in your career. What made you want to dive into this one?
Thank you. I've been really lucky. This one was a total no-brainer from the moment I read it. I mean, first of all, Agatha Christie is such a beloved and well-renowned writer, you know, one of the most sort of successful authors the world over. So we were starting with brilliant source material, and then Hugh Laurie, someone I've admired for a very long time, such an intelligent and funny guy, put the most amazing, unique spin on it, and just created a really, really thrilling and well-balanced show. I mean, Evans has so much to offer in the way of adventure, action, comedy, romance, and at times, you know, genuine kind of pathos. There's a really kind of cathartic element to this too. So I really couldn't say no, and characters that I absolutely fell in love with.
Yeah, and it's definitely one of those classic sleuthing stories. Do you think you could do it, like put on the detective hat and solve some mysteries?
I'm like insanely clumsy and 6'3", so there's a part of me that feels like I'd have to probably, you know, be honest and say that my chances of making it as a spy are pretty slim. Lucy's got a far better chance than I do. But it was definitely fun to pretend, and it's one of the fun things about these characters is they're not pros right off the bat. You know, they are, or at least they feel very kind of relatable. They're like sort of, you know, everyday people kind of making a go of it as sleuths, and I think they become sort of professionalized and more of a legitimate organization by the end, and it's a fun arc to see them kind of explore over the course of the 3 episodes.
Yeah, what a fun evolution to play in as an actor. I know you mentioned Hugh Laurie a little bit at the beginning, but can we just take a moment to talk about Hugh? I mean, an absolute legend, but in the director's seat, what was the biggest takeaway you got from working with him in this way?
Oh, you know, I've admired him for so long as an actor. I think he's extraordinary. And back home, you know, he really is kind of royalty. So, you know, to have the chance to work with him in any capacity was a crazy experience for me, and one, you know, I obviously jumped at. What I was kind of really struck by as a director is just how much attention to detail, you know, he paid. He has this sort of like granular kind of appreciation of every single scene and every single character. And it's amazing having your director be your touchstone for, you know, for Bobby Jones, the character I played, or any given moment that we were shooting. He's thought about everything. And because he wrote the thing as well, you know, he's sort of so emotionally invested in it that everything he's giving you in the way of direction comes from sort of a really kind of deep and honest affection for the piece. And I think that really shows on screen. It just made it a wonderful thing to work on.
Yeah, clearly he's very, very invested in this project. I imagine you wanted to make him proud.
I really did. Yeah, there's sort of, Hugh definitely has kind of like father-like sort of qualities to him, and I definitely wanted to do him proud. And, I really hope me and Lucy did that.
Agatha's work was, of course, written a long time ago. This takes place a long time ago. But it feels like audiences love that. They love diving into these worlds of before. Why do you think that is, this immense kind of innate curiosity to go back in time?
Yeah, I wonder, I think in the case of this story where, a murder mystery kind of is at the sort of epicenter of it, I think one of the really cool things is to see people engage in a challenge like that without the crutches of technology, social media, the internet. We sort of joked that this story would probably have been over in about 6 minutes, if you tried to sort of shoot it today. But it's really cool to see, people kind of engage with sort of old-fashioned tools of detective work in order to uncover the mystery. And in a way, it's far more exciting. It kind of reminded me of some of my favorite films. I thought about Chinatown the first time I read this script, and watching Jack Nicholson employ all these kind of old school tactics to get to the bottom of a mystery. And I watch what Bobby and Frankie kind of do in pursuit of the truth in this, and it reminded me a lot of that.
Will, lastly, I couldn't help but take a look at your Instagram page. It's always a fun way to do some research when getting to talk to someone. And immediately I noticed that you use that page, you use that platform as a platform to talk about things that are important to you. Why is that something that you wanted to use Instagram for?
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I appreciate that. I mean, I'm really lucky to work with a number of really great organizations and charities who are sort of, kind enough to collaborate with me. And it just feels like the way that I'm best able to sort of manage my relationship with social media. And also, I think the best way that I can kind of draw attention to their work. They do the real work. I'm an actor and that's my living. And so if I'm able to kind of, through doing that, shed some light on people who do, I think, arguably far more important work, then that's great. And I hope I can continue to use it in that vein.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for what you do, and congrats on this.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Great to talk to you.
Thanks for watching Etalk. Make sure you hit subscribe for more celebrity interviews and entertainment news. And while you're here, why not watch another video? I know you want to.